and welcome to Sibs Talk Books. He's Johnny, I'm Lou, and we're doing some reviews of what we've read in the last week.
So starting off from our TBR, if you haven't checked that out, that was the last video we posted. I decided to start, am I right to start?
Yes.
I decided to start with the book that I've had the longest, which is An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth by Chris Hadfield. And it is Chris Hadfield's biography. I believe it's his autobiography. Yes, I believe so. It's the #1 international bestseller, which is fitting because he's an astronaut. International, world. You get what I'm trying to go with this? Yeah, where do I start with my notes? Wait.
Yes.
So first of all, I really, really enjoyed this book. It was a great read. Basically, I'm a little bit. I'm always conscious when I start like a kind of a book on things like of science and politics, because I'm quite of a simple mind, and I get confused rather easily. So I was a bit like, oh, I hope it's not too much detail. Don't get me wrong. I want to hear about space. I want to hear about NASA. I want to hear about astronauts. I want to hear about cool rumours, cool things that you have to know rumours, but cool things. I want to hear about cool things from space, but if it's too sciencey,
Yeah.
I switch off or just stare at words and nothing goes in. So I was delighted to find out that this book really isn't like that. It is a pure read for everyone.
Cool.
It sticks to the kind of basic ways of explaining things. Don't get me wrong. There's a few things. I mean, Chris was Chris. Look at me, already on first name basis. He started out as kind of like a pilot for the army, then went into like being an astronaut there. Apparently, that's quite a common way to do it.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
You have to have some military career behind you to be an astronaut.
There you go. But yeah, it was a read for everyone, I'd like to say. Now, often with biographies, there's some cool pictures in the middle, and that's my favourite bit of any book, the pictures. And it's just, honestly, it's absolutely phenomenal. Chris Hadfield became famous, I think, through YouTube, where he posted a cover of a song that he did from the International Space Station, and it's got a lot of him it's got a lot of stories about him recording videos from the International Space Station. Like he recorded like a fake music video with some of his space chums, and it's just fantastic. So yeah, it goes through his early life, and that's really interesting. I mean, he's not had the most adventurous personal life. Like kind of everything is kind of straightforward. Like he gets married and kind of has kids, and that's kind of it. You know what I mean? Whereas it does talk a little bit about his struggles with like kind of telling everyone that he wants to be an astronaut, because it's kind of one of those things. But he seems to like kind of just absolutely just not cared what anyone's thought of. Went in for it, got all of his licenses, got all of this. I mean, you have to be insanely smart, obviously, to be an astronaut. And he kind of cracked on with that. He was, the #1 in all of his class and stuff. So, yeah, there's a few kind of twists and turns in his life, but it is kind of pretty straightforward with that. So, usually, that's not what you want from a biography. You want twists and turns. You want kind of depression and upsetness. Yeah. But the fact that he talks about being in space, I mean, who's done that? Chris has. So that kind of saved it a little bit. Yeah, so if I had anything kind of like qualms with it, he had a bit of a boring personal life, but he's been to space. So, pages well filled. I'd give it... I'm going to give it a 3. Now the
Really?
Now the reason is because I really enjoyed it. Now when I first started talking about my opinion on books, you said that I'm too easy with my stars.
Yeah.
Right, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, I really enjoyed it, but for the biography element of it, because it is like his life, it's kind of straightforward.
Yeah.
I was going to give it a 3. I mean, don't get me wrong, if he'd been through a few divorces and a few kind of like,
Yeah, but he's
mishaps. He's been to space, yeah. All right, 3.5 then.
Yeah.
3.5 stars. I don't know. No one cares about my stars anyway.
No, they don't. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. My first book that I read this week was Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. I've been massively looking forward to this book. And basically, just consulting some of the notes.
Yeah.
This was a 5-star read for me.
Wow.
It was amazing.
And you say that I'm too easy with
my
my stars.
but it was really good. So basically, it follows the story of a girl called Ellie. She's 15. She disappeared. She left the house one day to go to the library, and no one ever saw her again. A family, so obviously a family are heartbroken. So then it follows the story of a mum. Now Laurel, so this is 10 years after Ellie's gone missing. No one's heard anything. No breakthroughs have been made with the case or anything. So Laurel meets a man called Floyd, who is a similar age to her, he's in his 50s. And he has a daughter called Poppy, who is, I think she's about 9. Yes, she is. She's 9 years old. And he has a daughter called Poppy. She's 9, and she looks identical to Ellie when she was that age. So that starts some feelings for Laurel. But it's really heartbreaking.
Is that why it's such a high rating in your book? 'Cause
yeah,
it affected you so emotionally.
Well, no, but it is heartbreaking. It's really sad. The reason why I liked it has some really good twists in. I see a lot of twists coming, but I didn't with this one. Well, I kind of did, but it didn't ruin it. But it is dark and upsetting as some of the stuff that says. As I went through on my TBR, I think dark and claustrophobic. Yeah, it is.
It is.
Because we do hear about some, without ruining it, we do hear about this story that's happened to people in real life, and to actually, read about this stuff, it's really good. Yeah, so I enjoyed it. Yeah, 5 stars.
So my next book is Proteinaholic by Garth Davis. The reason why I chose to read this after the Chris Hadfield one is because it was the most intimidating to me. Because I thought, it was going to be very medical and very, it was going to be a tough read. And I'm going to say something really hypocritical and contradictory.
Okay.
It wasn't a tough read, but I didn't finish it.
Okay.
Right, is that a DNF?
It is a DNF,
DNF. I didn't read, I stopped reading when there was about 50 pages left, which I know is really going to be, really annoy people, but I'll get to why in a minute. It's going to be completely contradictory to everything I'm about to say. Right. So, as I mentioned in the TBR, we watched What the Health. We kind of got obsessed with that. And it was like a big impact and a big game changer in our lives. So I was really interested in finding more about it and kind of really solidifying on my facts. So when I slam people in the pub, I'll know what I'm on about. Now, this is the book for that. Right? First of all, Garth, which is a cool name, Garth comes across as a really nice bloke. He seemed really nice on What the Health, and he seems really nice in print. And that is something that I look in every book. I want to feel like I like the person. Everything is not too factual. Well, obviously it is factual, but not too heavy. It's probably the lightest read you can kind of get from a medical book. So although this book is about the meat industry and about the dairy industry, it's kind of not about that. It's about the effects on your body. So it's not about, it's not about slaughterhouses or kind of moral justice or anything like that. It's all about the medical effects to your body that they've found out that meat and dairy kind of do. And with the overarching story about humanity's kind of obsession with protein. So every time we talk about a diet, people are obsessed with protein. Where do you get your protein from? This bar has double the amount of protein. Oh, loads of protein in this. Yeah. And it kind of breaks down that myth of the protein isn't actually the problem. Not getting enough protein isn't a problem. He even says that he's never, ever in his entire career heard of anyone having a protein deficiency while still eating. You know what I mean? You never get a protein deficiency if you eat food. Yeah. But what is much more common and leads to heart attacks, strokes, God knows, everything that's horrible in the world, is too much protein, and that is the problem. So it's one of those kind of myths that you need it as much as people say. And then he kind of breaks down very briefly about why all the kind of meat and dairy industry kind of plug it and how they fund it. A lot like What the Health is a lot like that film in print version. And he talks about Garth talks about his own personal story, about what he's doing now, and kind of why he went on this journey. And it's a fascinating journey. It is a really, it's interesting, but it's not 350 pages interesting.
Right, okay.
Because I enjoy the topic, I enjoyed the things that I read. It's just, if I'm honest, I don't know if I just kind of ran out of steam with it. It was just, I got the message before the book ended.
Do you think you'd pick it up again and try and...
Yeah, maybe, if it annoys me that much. But, I mean,
I think because you live your life by doing maybe what he's talking about in the book, you maybe felt like...
It was just...
Don't need to learn about it.
I think so. It's because we stopped eating meat and dairy ages ago after we watched that film. So like after I kind of got a few facts, like so I could zing my friends in the pub.
Yeah.
It kind of got like, oh yeah. So it's
like we know where to get our protein now.
Don't get me wrong. If this is a topic that you're interested in, definitely go for it. But I would understand if you said, it was a bit boring actually.
Yeah, I think
the message is important.
I think maybe all you need to kind of say is that, okay, meat and dairy don't give you protein as much as people thought.
Yeah.
Eat nuts. Like, yeah. I think that's maybe all there is.
So definitely there's that kind of element of like where else do you get your protein? And also it's not really the thing that we should be focusing on. My last point to this is this book comes with a website with additional information. If this isn't enough information for you about protein, there's additional information and kind of updates to the book as well. They've put it on this website. But my quibble with that is that the updates that they put didn't last very long because it's already like 2 years out of date and nothing on it. So I don't know if Garth has kind of got another book in the works or they just kind of gave up on the idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so it kind of makes... I'm going to do it another 3 stars. I'm going to bump up Chris Hadfield to 4 stars.
Well, yeah.
And
but since that's a DNF, you can't really rate it.
I can't... Right? Is that the rules?
Yeah. That's what most people do, yeah.
Oh, I can't rate it then?
No, you DNF'd it.
I DNF'd it.
Yeah. So unless you want to pick it up again.
No,
so,
screw it.
Right, my last book that I've just finished for my last week is The Couple Next Door. Now... I originally read this because I wanted to read The Marriage Pact, and it said for fans of The Couple Next Door.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my book in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
But that's why I originally wanted to read it. But it's really good.
Yeah.
It's not 5-star read. I gave it 4 stars just because I kind of like it weren't really a surprise what happened. Mm-hmm. Because you find out really early, like what's happened. But anyway, so here's the basics, right? So Anne and Marco are a couple. They've got a baby. They get invited by their next door neighbours for a meal and drinks and stuff. So they go around, but the neighbour says you cannot bring your baby because they're like she don't like kids. Right.
Yeah.
The babysitter's cancelled, but they think, okay, well we'll go anyway and leave the baby at home.
Yeah.
On its own. But they take the baby monitors to see if it cries, and they go check it every half an hour.
Yeah.
But when the evening's finished, I think it's like 1 a.m, they go back, the baby's gone. Disappeared. And it goes through this twists and turns. You kind of find out what's happened to the baby really early on, but you don't know why. Mm. And then it kind of unravels from there, and then it's really sad. The mum suffers with postnatal depression. And it comes like she thinks she's harmed the baby at one point and her husband's like covering up for her, which, spoiler alert, that's not the case. There is a big twist at the end as well. So even though you think, and then you don't. So yeah, I really liked it. But just not 5 stars.
Why did it not reach your 5-star rating?
Because I just weren't gripped. Because... even I read on my TBR, thought read it in one sitting was a cliche. I couldn't do this in one sitting.
Yeah.
It was good, but just not one sitting worthy. I just don't think it's... I just don't think it's 5 stars, like my other one. I just didn't get... But it's alright. But I didn't really like the characters. I don't like the characters in the books. I find it really hard to like people. So, again, I didn't really like them. But everybody does something wrong in this book. But I suppose no one's perfect. And as it says on the front, people are capable of almost anything. And they are. Even when it comes to their own child.
Yeah. It's a nice message to take home.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is a thriller. But yes, it's definitely worth reading. I really liked it.
Awesome.
So 4 stars.
4 stars there?
And that's my books.
Awesome. So thank you for watching this video. Please check out either our previous ones if you haven't seen them, or our next ones if they're available to you, where we'll be reviewing more of our TBRs. Hopefully we won't die in the meantime.
Yes.
That's a bit depressing. Yeah. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah.
Oh well. Thank you for watching.
Bye.